Good morning, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be starting off at our walkway, and even though it's not finished, I'm already enjoying it. But we're just going to do a little updates today, especially with the hellebores. This is the one closest to the edge, and you could see the new growth. You can also see the old leaves, which I will cut back because we still have not had our last frost date yet. This one, I'm a little worried about it. It has no shield from across the yard. All the winds come over here, and as you can see, it's looking quite sorry. I had gotten some other hellebores recently. I picked up a few hellebores recently. These two, actually I went to work and left them in the greenhouse, and you see the tiny little greenhouse I have. It's a tiny little thing, and one of the zipper don't really work, and it was left in there overnight. Well, all of them were left in there overnight, but these two actually suffered some damage. I did a bit of clipping, and it's looking a little sorry. I've put them in some water. I'm bottom watering it, and just by placing them here, the bees were already on it. I had to just leave it earlier because the bees just kept, there's one right there. So there were a few bees on it. I just had to leave it. So it's getting a little moisture. I have clipped off the parts that looked damaged. So I have some there. I am gonna see if it actually stands back up, you know, being hydrated and all. And I'll keep these in until our last frost date has passed. And I think that's gonna be about April 21st. At that time, I'm gonna put some in the shade garden. And the plan is to put them right over on that little mound, maybe about 3 or 4. I will also add one to this bed beside this one, and you can see the new growth, new buds coming up. Sorry for the noise, we're right on front. I will trim these back, and I will put another one here. This is where we have the hydrangeas. So one right here, one over there. When they're fully grown, I don't want to be really digging up the hellebore, so I will keep it closer to the edge. It's coming on to spring. Oops. Let's get my gimbal focused. I'm always looking out for bulbs, and this is an update on the tulips we planted in the pots. It's coming on quite nicely. This is the other one. So these are doing awesome. Looking forward to enjoying those. And that, I had some ginger that was sprouting in the kitchen. I put them there, so I don't know if those will come, but they're in a pot. And that's the update on the tulips in the pot. There were some that I poked in and around the garden. That's one coming up right there. And here's another one. And on the patio, I noted 2 more was popping up here. The sun is not gonna. You can see one right there, and the other is over there. And I constantly look in the spots that I had planted them to see what is popping up. And there are a few more right there. In keeping with updates, remember we had winter sown some seeds, and I noted there was some growth. Inside that one, I had poked some strawberry. I cut the tops off the strawberry and I poked them in this one, so we'll see what that does. That was recently. This is the other bottle. There's 1 or 2 maybe in there. Let's see if we can get a better focus. Maybe 1 or 2 is in there, not much. And those are updates on our poppies that we winter sowed in those 2 bottles. Now, I don't know if because that bottle has that opaque kind of, structure to it, and the orange juice bottle is clear, so there maybe it lets more light in it. Well, that's the one, there's tons of stuff in there. Hopefully it's the poppies. And that's what we sowed in there. But as you know, stuff can pop up in your soil, who knows. So we will watch these and see what happens. We'll continue to focus on those, and let's see what else is popping up, if any. This is the extended lily bed where we also had direct sown some of the poppy seeds. I don't see any activities as yet. Nothing there. But the hyacinths are coming up nicely. You can see them popping up right there. Other things are slowly awakening, but I did not see any of those little poppy. And this is the extended lily bed. Of course, most things are sleeping. The other hyacinths on this side, they're flushing out quite nicely as well. So you can see the green. So those are coming on nicely. Other things are slowly waking up, and we'll watch the progress as they come up. These are in the front bed, and these are looking awesome. And some things are waking up. Allium sprouting. Shasta daisy going on, and I think this is a Veronica This is another allium. I think it's beginning to wake up as well. We had some coneflowers. Not sure how those are doing. More tulips coming up. So that's nice. And a few along the edges. So it's awakening slowly. Today, I would love to trim the rose bush I have in the front. This rose bush, the plan is to cut it back a good bit. I've never trimmed this really, and I'm planning to take it down to maybe about a third of that plant. It normally has black spots, and I would love to see some regrowth and treat it and see if I can get a better, performance out of it. I will be pruning this rose bush today. Sorry for the noise, we're out front. I'm going to take it down to about a third of the plant, and that's one of my goals for today. Finally finished with this rose. We've pruned the rose. It had some new growth on it, so you can see, but this is what happens every year. Like, I leave it, then the new growth start, and I'm just afraid to cut it off. I am quite happy with that, and I'll shape it as it comes up. I'll also treat it because I've always had black spots on it. It's a red rose. I do love it, but I hate the black spots. So 2 bags of cuttings from the rose bush, and I am happy with what I've gotten done today. So I'll take these to the back. And I'm going to take them straight to the collection area, because the last time we had a windy day and these things blew all over the yard. It was a painstaking headache to get them from all over the yard. So I'll put them up for collection. I'll tie the bags, so even if it blows the bag away, at least I won't have to be all over the yard trying to gather all those thorny bits. This is at the RV where we drive in on our parking pad, and I can see some Shasta daisy coming alive. There's also buds on my lilac. See those buds? And this is a purple color, or lavender kind of color. It's shooting all over. This is a bit of it as well. That's my bottle bouquet back there. And I think that's a Vinca major. And I have a heuchera. This holly, I don't get blooms off it. It doesn't get it. I mean, it doesn't give me any berries or anything. So I am going to trim this up. I'm gonna limb all these up. I like this bare part of the tree, and I'm actually gonna limb it up to probably about here. So none of this ivy prickly leaf stuff will be on the lower edge. All this from ground up to maybe about four feet, I'm gonna just trim those up. I don't want it down there. And I'll let the lilac, you know, float around and do what it wants to do below. This is the crepe myrtle by the gate. Love it, but it's a mess sometimes. But it gives nice color. I love the bark. It's a nice strong tree. We got it with the house. But the lilac is coming through. It's poking through the fence a little bit. And that's gonna look nice. Got some nice little buds right there coming up. So it's budding up quite nicely. And as I said, I'll trim these back. They're nice foliage, you know, for greenery in the winter, but it's prickly too. Like if I decide to go around there and do some weeding, I've gotten pricked by it. And as I said, it's not giving me berries. It's there for the greenery. I could take the greenery up top. So I'm gonna trim those. Not today, another day, because I go to work later. So 2 bags of my rose pruning, and that's the outside along the fence, the road charmer, the other crepe myrtle, and I was trying to cut the old leaves off my hellebore, and I hardly want to touch it because a part of it just came off. I poked it over here. Hopefully it's gonna catch. There was a tiny bit of root to it. So I poked it there, and hopefully that will grow. I love hellebores. So whatever I plant in this bed in the back garden is always going to be propagation of anything else that's down here. There's some hostas that I like. It's like a chartreuse color, and I want to split that. It's not very big, but I'm going to split that because I want it somewhere else in the garden. I've also pruned this rose in the back, and that's the peach drift rose that I have in the back. I pruned that back some. This is the other ascot rainbow that I would love to propagate this year. I want to do a lot of cuttings from those. I want a few more. And look who is in the back already. Sir Rabbit. See him back there? So this is what I have to deal with. The bunnies are out already. See him looking at me? Isn't that something? My goodness. So this year I will definitely have to take more precautions in protecting my plants, because the hostas are not yet up and he's already in the garden. Can you believe it? Look at him hiding behind that ascot rainbow. Perfect camouflage, isn't it? I'm not gonna spook him. There's not much out here. I'll leave him be. You know, if they would just eat some things and let me know what they're eating, then I would plant their own salad bar for them so they can leave the rest of my plants, but they don't do that. They just walk through the entire thing and call it their own. So that's Mr. Bunny over there today. Thanks for joining me in the garden. My name is Elaine. I'm your RN in the garden. I garden in Baltimore, Maryland. This is zone 7B. If you look it up in some areas, it might say 7B/8A. So this is where I garden. It is still gonna be a little cold some of the nights. I have the other hellebores, but I won't plant them out until after our last frost date, which is about April 21st. And I hope the two that are a little damaged will rebound and thanks again for your support. Remember to share, like, subscribe, put your comments in the section below. I'm always looking out for your comments. It was a wonderful day today. It was over the 50s maybe about an hour ago, so it's gonna be maybe 50s, upper 50s today, so it's a great day. So I'm happy that I came out and I got to do something in the garden. As I say, be kind to your body, take your time, chip it all the tasks one at a time. Don't overdo it. Your body will thank you for it, because you have to get your body ready. Do not overexert yourself. So thanks again for all your support, and do have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself until I see you in our next video. Thank you.